Yo, what is up, guys? It is your boy, Gray's Age here, and this is What If Bell Had Yami Sukehiro's Powers, Part 4. So I know I've not been on the series for a very long time, but I'm back at it again, so here it is. I would also be posting What If Asta was Madara's reincarnation. That series has been going on for a long time, and it's about time it comes to an end. So yes, that series is going to be coming out today. Plus, I also have a few other things too that's coming out on the Sage Samurai channel, but I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Plus, also happy Valentine's Day to y'all. If no one has not said it to you, then here I am saying happy Valentine's Day. So I hope y'all are doing good, hope y'all are doing great, and I hope y'all will have always good luck. But besides all that, let's get started with this what if. And also just remember this, you are an awesome person and you're cool. But besides that, let's get started.
She gripping that dick like she was a lost star. She party at night like she was a rock star. She singing my song like Bella-dee-da. She calling me daddy, but not a father. Lil' Billy been thirsty like big as some water. Could give you the world with the wave of a wand. You feel the yard, bitch, Cosmo and Wanda.
Alright guys, so let's get started with this what if. What the heck? How the heck did I get in this position? Said a very moody Bell Cornell. He was right now there was two girls who were pretty much nuzzling on his chest. Just how the heck did this happen? Thought Bell. Well, flashback. Bell, after last night's incident, he returned back home to get some sleep, which he did so. But when he woke up early in the morning, he heard knocking at the door, so of course he went ahead to go check. As when he opened the door, he found none other than the very same girl that he saved the last night. Oh, Lily. Hey. At this, as soon as Lily sees the man who had saved her life, she did the one thing that most people would never do, but she just did it. She went ahead and instantly latched onto Bell, hugging him very tightly. At this, she began to cry and thank Bell a lot, but Bell just, patting her awkwardly as he then says, yeah, it's okay, you can calm down now, he would say. However, due to all this cryingness, this is when Lily will actually alert someone, and that being none other than Bell's goddess, Hestia. As Hestia, who would have heard she pretty much sends a presence, and she's like, someone has entered my territory. As she instantly gets up and runs towards the door, she would have seen Lily, pretty much doing the same thing that she does to Bell. So she instantly jumps in the competition. Pretty much, both of them are fighting over Bell. And that's how Bell ended up in this position, as both his goddess and his supporter were both pretty much snuggling up to him. Look, both of you, it's early in the morning for this now. Can you please stop? His response were two very loud no's. This is going to take forever, thought Bell. As we go ahead and do a time skip, Bell was eventually let go after a bunch of head patting and stuff like that. So he was eventually let go as he told them to behave, which they did so. However, they both threw each other a challenging smile, as that smile only meant bad things for Bell. I cannot let those two be together, you would think. So with that, Bell goes ahead and actually asks what she was doing here, which Lily goes ahead and begins to explain about her circumstance and how she was thankful for Bell for being there to support her, and that she wanted to apologize to him considering the fact that she was planning on betraying Bell, so that way she can go ahead and steal his sword and that grimoire. At this, at seeing this opportunity, Hestia would instantly begin to berate Lily, and of course tell her that was very wrong, but this is when Bell actually intervenes. Goddess, you don't have to go that far. Look, she didn't really do it, so I'm okay. If she really did it, that would be a different story, but she didn't. So really, there's no reason whatsoever to get angry. At this, Lily goes ahead and smiles. She once again does, snuggling up to Bell's chest, much to his dismay. What is with women in doing this? I don't understand, he would think. At this, Hestia gets jealous, and pretty much just how the whole fiasco starts all over again. So we do a time skip, as Bell, after getting out of the whole ordeal, and Lily finally becoming, Bell's number one supporter, she is now part of Bell's, group. As both her and Bell are now going to the dungeons, they would both go to the dungeons, and pretty much this would be, if this was canon, this would be the part where Lily would have stolen from Bell, but since she's no longer doing that, considering the fact that Bell literally, freed her, then pretty much they're actually doing good. As Bell was in the dungeon, he was taking on these beasts like they were nothing. Come on. As he would pretty much be like, Gambare, Gambare. But pretty much the beasts, like, they're really nothing compared to him. As Lily was just in the background, pretty much a background dancer, pretty much to Belle, as they actually were once again able to get a large amount of money. At this is when Belle actually asks, "Hey Lily, where are you staying anyway?" he would ask. At this, Lily actually begins to explain that she actually has, well, nowhere to stay, considering the fact that, well, she doesn't really want to go back to the Familia. In fact, she'd much rather them think that she was dead than really was alive, considering the fact that she was always treated pretty badly over there. At this, Belle offers her to stay, even though he knows that it's a bad feeling. Like, he already feels a bad omen has been placed on him, but he still thought it was a good idea. I mean, he's like, it wouldn't be, even Belle knew that it was not a good thing to go ahead and leave a girl out there. At this, Lily instantly begins to hug Belle, telling him thank you, which Belle goes ahead and just sighs, telling her that this is not going to be a daily thing, right? But she doesn't answer it, causing Belle to worry a little bit. This is going to be a long day, he would say. So with that, Lily will be staying with Hestia and Belle. However, he makes sure that both Lily and Hestia, he made sure that they go ahead and not sleep with him in his bed. He even put locks on the doors, as he told them that he needs his privacy, and that also they can't always do this. At this, they go ahead, we're pouting about it, but they understand, even though Belle knew that they wouldn't give up. All right, people like them do not give up. So with that, Belle would sometimes keep his guard up at night just in case, plus adding a few more locks to his door. So we're gonna go ahead and do a time skip. So it's been a while since Lily had sort of joined Belle, and pretty much the both of them have been adventuring for a while now. However, today was gonna be an odd day. Belle did not know why, but when he woke up today, he felt something bad was gonna happen. So he promised himself that he was gonna be the best on guard today. As he goes ahead and puts in his katana and pretty much waking up Lily, they'll both go to an adventure together, as they were really excited to go to the dungeon. As when they did enter the dungeon, Belle already had a sickening feeling to it. He didn't know what it was, but he knew that something bad was definitely going to happen today. I gotta keep Lily safe, he would think. So while they were walking in, unbeknownst to Belle, as somewhere deep in the dungeon, a fight was going on. A fight that had been going on for a while. It was a Minotaur against this unknown man. "Good, you finally mastered it," says the man as he was breathing heavily. At this, the beast, which was known as a Minotaur, was holding a black blade as he was panting as well. Also, this Minotaur had one horn missing. "Good. Go find yourself a challenge," he would say. At this, the man would go ahead and begin to walk away, as the beast would go ahead and still have the sword in hand as he decides to walk off to go take care of business. So with Belle, he and Lily had been inside the dungeon for a while, pretty much just taking on monsters and everything, getting a bunch of bags of crystals so that way they can get money. "Hey Lily, how much did we get?" Belle would ask. At this, Lily then says, well, we got the same large amount that we always do, Master Belle," she would say. At this, Belle goes ahead and sighs. She's like, "Dang it, there's no challenge here." At this, Belle decides that he actually wonders what would it be like to fight a floor boss. But he decided that he'll figure that out later, as he told her, like, let's continue going. At this, Lily would nod, as when they're continuing going off, Belle would feel his senses beginning to tingle. He senses something. What the? At this, suddenly Belle would then hear it growling. As suddenly him and Lily both of them stop moving, as Belle still had his katana out, as he goes ahead and points his katana to where the direction is in a defensive stance. At this, suddenly, just then, out of the darkness would then walk out a tall, red Minotaur. This Minotaur was red, it had one horn missing, and it was carrying a black blade. At this, Belle would just think, great, a Minotaur problem. Now, in another part of the dungeon, we would see the Loki Familia, as well as, Eyes Wallenstein, who was part of it, who was right now checking out this mysterious group. At this, the group were just, going on in the dungeon, as multiple of the men were slaughtered, and only leaving one of them alive. Just what happened? Asked one of the group members. At this, the man was traumatized. He was now breathing heavily. It's a beast. It's a monster. It slaughtered all of them. In a blink of an eye, he would say as he began to cry. At this, suddenly, they would actually be surprised at this. As one of them would then ask, do you know where it went? As the man would nod, yes. There was this kid. He had white hair. He sort of resembled a wolf with this little girl next to him. At this, suddenly, eyes who already knew who he was talking about would go, pale. As she would instantly dash off. Hey, where are you going, Eyes? At this, suddenly, all the members would go ahead and follow her, as one member decides to stay behind to heal the man. So at this, back with Belle was sort of right now looking at the beast, sizing it up, as he was already, activating his senses to see what was going to be its movements. Alright, let's see. I already got all its movements down to the very last one. I'll see his attack coming, he would think. Just as he said that, the Minotaur would rush at him with his sword in hand. At this, Belle was prepared to counter. However, to his surprise, someone would shove him out the way. Lily, he would say. At this, Lily, who would have pushed Belle out the way, would then go ahead and be hit with the attack. Lily, no! Shouted Belle as he was then, pushed off away. At this, there were a bunch of smoke picked up due to the hit. As when the smoke cleared, Belle would look down only to see Lily bleeding. Lily, he would think. At this, Lily, who was barely conscious, would then shout, Belle, get away! As she goes ahead and passes out. As Belle, who was looking at Lily's form, as she was bleeding from the head, he could only think of one thing. I'm going to kill him, he would think. As the Minotaur who had hit Lily was actually looking down at the beaten form of the girl, as he goes ahead and raises its sword one more time, ready to land the killing blow. However, just as it swung down, a blur went ahead and appeared. As the next thing you know, a ginormous shockwave would go throughout the entire area. At this, the beast was for sure thought that he squashed, the little girl. However, to his surprise, a katana had blocked his blade. At this, only holding Lily right now in his arms will be none other than Belle, who was now having his eyes covered by the shade of his hair. At this, suddenly purple aura would then shoot off of Belle, pushing the Minotaur back as it, was in shock. At this, the said Minotaur was looking at Belle, who was right now going ahead and beginning to walk away. As the Minotaur was about to chase after Belle, however, Belle would then speak. Stay, he would say, as he was releasing a lot of bloodlust and that pressure that he somehow knows how to use. But this said beast was so afraid to move for its life, they actually listened to Belle, as Belle continued walking. However, just as he did, suddenly footsteps would then be heard, as suddenly Eyes and the rest of the Loki Familia group had went ahead and appeared. At this, Eyes would have seen Belle, who still had his, eyes shaded by his hair, and was currently holding an injured Lily. At this, just as Eyes was about to go ahead and dash off to the Minotaur to take it down, she would then have someone shoved into her. She would then someone shoved into her arms, as she would look at Belle, as he would only say one word, heal, he would say. At this, he would then turn to the Minotaur, pulling out his katana, as he then says, I'm gonna deal with this, he would say. At this, everyone could tell the threatening tone that's underneath Belle's, the way that Belle was speaking, as they all knew whatever this Minotaur did, he pretty much fucked up. At this, said Minotaur, that was still afraid, decided that it was now a good time to rush at Belle, as he begins to rush at Belle with his sword. However, no one saw what happened. All they saw was Belle moved his hand a little bit, and that his hand became a blur. As soon as Belle's hand just seemed to vanish and return, the arm of the Minotaur and the other horn would go ahead and be sent flying. At this, the Minotaur would then scream in agony, as the arm that was holding the sword would have been cut off completely, as well as his other horn, as he was right now screaming on the ground in pure agony. At this, everyone was right now in shock. They couldn't believe it. How the heck did he do that? Thought everyone. As Belle goes ahead, and he still had his eyes covered, as he goes ahead and begins to walk towards the now slashed off arm of the Minotaur. "You're gonna pay," said Bell, as he goes ahead and grabs the sword of the Minotaur. As when he does, he goes ahead and throws it with such accuracy and such strength that he goes ahead and pierces the arm of the other arm of the Minotaur, causing him to be pinned to the wall. As this, the Minotaur will once again scream in agony, using all its force to go ahead and pull his hand out, but it was not working as it was pinned to the dungeon's walls. "You hurt my friend." And now, at this, Bell's eyes, they seem to be glowing dangerously as he looks at him. As right now, Bell's eyes seem dull, lifeless, as if he was a weapon. "I'm gonna kill you," said Bell, as his purplish aura was radiating off of him, as the pressure was getting so strong that that there was getting cracks on the walls. At this, everyone couldn't believe it, as Bell decided he was gonna end this now. As he goes ahead and in one swift movement, he moves his katana. As no one saw what happened, all they saw was a blur. As the next thing they knew, Bell was putting his katana back to his sheath as he begins to turn from the Minotaur and begins to walk away. Dark cloak. At this, suddenly multiple slashes would then be hit on the Minotaur, all of them covered by this darkness, as this was Bell's dark magic. As Bell then speaks up again, "Avieta Wild Slash," he would say. As just when he walked away, multiple pieces of the Minotaur that's now been slashed up completely would fall down, as chunks of it would hit the floor, until all of them would then be poofed away. At this, Bell would go ahead and walk off, as suddenly his eyes would once again be shown, but this time they were no longer dull and lifeless. As Bell was right now walking, Lily, who had actually woken up to see the very last moments of the fight, was also in shock. As Bell walked over to her, everyone in the group silent because they didn't know what to say. As when Bell was in front of her, he goes down and kneels on one knee. "Thanks for trying to save me," Bell would say, as he had a small smile on his face. But this is when his expression becomes dead serious. "Don't do something so foolish like that again. You should never risk your life for my own. You understand?" said Bell, as she was looking at Lily, dead in the eyes. At this, Lily was shaken as she actually nods, as Bell goes ahead and gives her a smile. "But still, thank you." At this, he would then turn to the mage of the group, as he would then ask, "Can you hear her?" At this, said mage, finally snapping out of her shock, will go ahead and nod as she begins to heal Lily. As Bell, unlike in canon, would be conscious this time, as one of the members would speak up. "Wow, you're really cool, Mr. Juggernaut," she would say. At this, Bell would then turn to her and be like, "What?" At this, said girl was just looking at Bell. "Well, the way that you fought, it was so cool and everything, so we decided to call you Mr. Juggernaut." At this, Bell just looked at them confused, as he just shrugged. "Call me what you want," he would say. At this, the girls give off a smile, as they actually began trying to flirt with Belle, considering the fact that they're not going to lie, what they saw was amazing. However, someone who was watching this all couldn't help but for some reason feel jealous, as this was none other than Eyes Wallenstein. "What is this feeling?" she wondered. At this, Belle goes ahead and turns to her, and he then goes ahead and gives her a smile. As Eyes, even though she doesn't really show much emotion, she had to admit, she found it charming. As she goes ahead and gets a small blush on her face, Belle then speaks up again. "Thank you. If you haven't arrived here, I don't think if you haven't arrived here on time, she wouldn't have gone healed. So I thank you for that," he would say. At this, she didn't know how to respond, but she decided to do the one thing that anyone would do. "It's no problem," she would say. At this, Belle would just nod, as he goes ahead and looks back on Lily, who is now finally done getting healed, as he goes ahead and pets Lily on the head. As after that whole fiasco was over, Belle tells them that they can go ahead and get the reward for the Minotaur. He didn't really need it, and he honestly did not care. At this, they wanted to go ahead and speak with him, but he already was gone right before they even got the chance. At this, Eyes went ahead and just looked at the direction where Belle went, as she could only be more and more interested in this certain Belle Crenelle. So after that whole fiasco was over, Belle and Lily had finally gotten out the dungeon. As Belle was actually now, actually looking pretty much real happy actually. This, as he actually was excited considering the fact that he had to admit he never expected to be so pissed off by a boss. At this, Belle goes ahead and decides that he also needs to decide that whenever his friends made foolish decisions, that he really needs to teach them that they shouldn't really do something like that. Doing something so foolish as something like that can get them killed. And he did not want that. At this, Belle actually made Lily promise to never do something like that. Even though the girl was, saying that she would do it all over again, he told her to never try it again. So after a mile of pestering, she told him that she would agree only if she gets the snuggle from Belle. At this, Belle sweat dropped at the girl's action, and he really just think, what is up with women? So after that whole fiasco, pretty much Belle had actually successfully beaten the Minotaur. However, someone actually heard of his progress, and hearing this, she was just, she didn't know how to describe it. She was, I guess you could say, aroused. I don't really know, but she was excited at just hearing it. This girl had white hair, and she was excited considering the fact that she was waiting for it, the power that was laying deep inside of him. She wanted it. And she goes ahead and licks her lip at the thought of getting Belle. At this, however, just when she was thinking it, suddenly a voice would then appear in the darkness. You caused me a lot of trouble. At this, said woman would go wide-eyed in shock, as suddenly out of the darkness would then walk out Belle. How did you find me? She would say. At this, Belle speaks up. I read keys, alright? I read your key anywhere. I sense your malicious intent. At this, Belle goes ahead and pulls out his katana he goes ahead and gets enveloped in dark magic. Do you have any idea what you did today? My comrade got hurt by you. What the heck are you after? At this, the woman goes ahead and smiles. Oh, you will find out soon. But until then, young man. At this, she goes ahead and gives Belle a smile, something that didn't sit right with Belle. Just as he was about to attack, suddenly he would then feel his ki going all over the place as he sensed danger. Shit! At this, Belle goes ahead and jumps out the window, as suddenly a ginormous explosion would be heard. Everyone in the town would gasp, but they actually look up to see it. As Belle, who had jumped down from the tower, would go ahead and look up. Who the heck was that? Belle wondered. He already sensed his presence. He already knew that someone was stalking him for a while now, but whoever this was just on a new level. I gotta keep my guard up, he thinks. So after that, Belle goes ahead and continues on with his adventures, even though he has been on the lookout lately, trying to make sure that no one gets in his way. He also tries to find out about who that lady was. All he could remember was that she had white hair similar to his. Also, she looked very attractive. But that was pretty much it. As Belle was right now sitting down at the tavern, as Seer was right now right next to him. As right now he was with his group of friends, that being Lily, Ryu. I feel like someone did type down in the comments how to pronounce the elf's name, the one with the yellow hair and everything. But I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, so I'm just gonna call it Ryu. So yeah. So he was right now celebrating him getting up a new rank, pretty much a new level with Lily, Seer, and Ryu, as they were all celebrating Belle. At this, Belle tells them to stop, considering the fact it's not really much of a big deal, but they tell me it is a big deal for most adventurers, and the fact that you got it in a month, it's incredible, said Seer. As Belle's level and has gone public knowledge, and people are calling him the #1 rookie, also giving him the code name the White Fox. At this, Belle didn't really like the name, but then again, he just shrugged it off, saying, it's cool and everything, but it makes me sound so emo though. At this, the others just chuckle as they continue celebrating and everything, as unbeknownst to them, a certain group was watching them in disdain. At this is when suddenly one of them wouldn't speak up. "So, are you excited to go for the higher floors?" said Sierra. She was actually really excited for Belle. At this, Belle went ahead and thought about it. He's like, I might. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I am planning to go there, yes, but like, I'm just right now trying to figure out how many monsters could I beat in there. It's just a thought of imagining all of him versus a bunch of monsters, him pushing past every single damn limit that he had in his body. Yeah, now that would have been the most epic moment. As just at the thought of that, he was just drooling, much to the woman's liking, considering the fact it was just funny to them. As even though Belle was sometimes dead serious and responsible, he still had his moments. At this, while eating and everything, suddenly a men would then begin to get up as they begin to walk towards the group. Well, look what we have here," said the man as they go ahead and begin to eye the woman in the table. As he goes ahead and begins to speak. I heard you're a new level 2, right? You're a new rank adventurer." At this, Belle just nods as he was right now. He had a toothpick in his mouth, of course, just looking at the men. His eyes still slitted as he looks at them like prey. As they go ahead and, they have a smile on their face. "Well, since you're now a new rank adventurer, you can go ahead and party with us. You see, we've been on the floors for very much longer than you, and we can go ahead and help you out, but..." At this, all the men who are now just gathering around the table were right now looking at all the women with the look of lust. "You're gonna have to share your little toys," he would say. At this, all the women would eye the man with disgust, but this is when suddenly Belle would then shoot off with purplish auras. He then speaks. "Who the hell are you? Say that to my face again and I'll kill you. Just who the fuck do you think you are?" At this, the men were right now pissing themselves at just the pressure that Belle was just releasing. As Belle would then speak. "You're my friends, not my things. If you treat them with disrespect again, I'll hunt you down. Now get the hell out of my face." At this, suddenly Belle will go ahead and kick every last one of them out of the tavern. And I mean literally, as they all were kicked out of the tavern in an instant. At this, the woman at the table go ahead and speak. "Belle, come on now." As Belle was like, "Sorry. I mean, it was better I did that or else they would have disdained your floors," he would say. At this, the woman just went ahead and laughed, saying, "Nah, it's okay. I just wish you did it quicker." Now they had left their dirty marks all over the table. At this, Belle just chuckles as he sits down. As when he looks at the rest of the women on the table, he realized that every last one of them had a blush. Even Ryu. Are you okay?" he would ask. At this, they would all nod quietly as they did not want to look at Belle right now. As Belle just shrugged. Women are somewhat complicated, he thinks. So after that, Belle goes on. However, he'll begin to realize that his cloak had gotten damaged due to that last fight against the Minotaur, which sucks considering the fact it was such an awesome robe. So at this, he goes ahead and throws the robe away and actually goes to the certain armor place as he found another robe, but this time it was made by someone named Wealth Crozo. However, when he goes ahead and looks for it though, it's nowhere in sight. What the? But most of my robes are made out of Wealth Crozo. At this, he begins to look around for it until he would begin to hear complaints. "Hey, how come I can't sell my stuff here?" said a voice. At this, Belle will go ahead and begin to walk towards it, as you'll see this man with red hair and another man at pretty much a guy who was at the checkup just looking at him. "Look, no one's buying your stuff, alright? So I can't go ahead and put it in the front shelves," he would say. "But what? My stuff is just as good as theirs," said the guy. At this, Belle will begin to walk over to the man, and she's like, yes, young Belle, what would you like?" he would ask. At this, Belle would then ask, "Hey man, where's the heck of my robes? The one made by Wealth Crozo. You know those robes are high tier quality," he would say. At this, the man goes ahead and just gasps until he turns to the man with red hair. At this, Belle was confused until he looks at the man who was giving Belle a big goofy grin. As we go ahead and do a change scene, Belle was right now sitting in the center as suddenly Wealth will go ahead and speak. "Well, you, Belle Cornell, had went ahead and bought mine, he would say arrogantly as he looks at everyone, "my clothing and armor. And it seems like he has done you justice," he would say. And this Belle would nod. "Yeah, you're top quality," he would say. This the man within smiles. He's like, look, how about I do business with you? At this, Belle goes ahead and just says, business? Okay. But what's the cost? He would say, as he knew that every single time that business was involved, it comes at a cost. At this is when, well, Crozo actually goes ahead and becomes serious. Let me join your group. What? As this is where I'm gonna go ahead and end the what if. Yes, I'm ending it much shorter than I usually do, but then again, I mean, shoot. Now, I hope y'all do enjoy. Hope y'all enjoy my what ifs. I've been working real hard. I've been trying my best, and y'all dope. So yeah. Either way, it is Great Zage, and I'm out. Hope y'all had a lovely Valentine's Day, and yeah, deuces.